Hello everyone. Welcome to the day 13 of Cyber Yuva campaign organized by Cyber Jagriti. In the last 12 days, you have seen that we have been discussing about so much about children. You know what children should be doing, what children should not be doing, what is the ethics for children, what are the digital safety things for children and all. But is it sufficient to us? No, it is not sufficient because the molding, children are like, I feel like children are like water. You can shape them based on the mold. So in what flask you put them, according to that their shape will be changing. So today for that molding process and how to because the way parenting is done nowadays is different from the way parenting has to be done or was being done in the past. Because now there at that time there was no much you might see old grannies of yours, old uh, grandfathers of yours, grandparents of yours telling this and this tips, aisa karna chahiye, you should not do like this with children, you should do like this with children. If some issue is happening like that, there can be some guidance, or they or your parents, because they have been into that era, might be aware of the risks or whatever problems you are facing. A solution kind of thing they might be aware. But when it comes to the digital world, they might not be aware of that. The problem can be new for them also. So for that, we have brought to you an exclusive session on digital parenting. The digital parenting session is taken by one of the best eminent speakers of ours, Srimati Sharanya ji. So she is currently working as assistant professor in Dr. Ambedkar Global Law Institute. She has an experience of working in UAE, foreign countries also. Her specialization is post graduation in international law, and she has done her LLB from Government Law College, Trivandrum. She has been part of various legal literacy programs in her career. So, with that, having an eminent experience in the field of digital parenting, I invite Sharanya ma'am to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Uh, I'm Sharanya. I'm really grateful to the Cyber Yuva and Cyber Jagriti for giving me an opportunity to say something regarding the digital parenting. So, actually, I'm really grateful to you people. Okay, so okay. Before we need to say like parenting, before going into deep about this digital parenting, we need to understand what is meant by parenting. So, what is the word parenting? What is the meaning of it? The word parenting means we have to take care, or we have to give more protection to our child. We are bringing our child into a very safety environment. We are bringing our child. That is what is called a parenting. We provide everything they want. So what is meant by digital parenting? Digital parenting is, as you all know, that we all are living in a digital environment. We are not supposed to get out from a digital environment. And in digital parenting, it means the parents who are taking care of their uh, children in the digital environment. If there is some kind of dangers occurs while they are using any social media network, we as a parent, I'm also a parent, you people are all the people are having children. So being a digital parent, you need to be very cautious about your children, because we all are living in a digital environment. So, before going into digital parenting, we need to understand what kinds of parenting are there. Namely, there are a multiple types of parenting. For example, the authoritative, there's uninvolved parenting, and this kind of permissive parenting. So, among these four types of parenting, the uninvolved parents are those parents who are, due to their circumstances or due to their career, they are living separate from their children, and this creates a kind of issues to them if their children who is excessive user of social media network, they have to suffer a lot. And authoritarian parents are those parents who are creating a certain rules and regulations for their own children, and these children are obliged to follow all these rules which is given by the parents. And when we are moving to these authoritative parents, those kinds of parents are giving some what some rules, and they will take into account sometimes the opinion of the children as well. So these were there is a mega difference or between this authoritarian and a authoritative parent. And what is meant by permissive parent, as we all know what is meant by permissive parent, they are very much friendly towards the children, and they will permit everything what the children is in need. They will give or they will provide everything as a parent. So that is what is called a permissive parent. So while coming back to digital environment, we cannot live without using mobile phones, without using laptops, without using or any social media platform. So we have to be very cautious or very aware about the evil effects which is regularly or common nowadays. Next, we will move on to a one session like how I can be a good digital parent. How can you be a very good digital parent in this uh, society? So or in this, we all are living in a digital environment, and the thing is that first thing and the foremost thing we need to do is to communicate with our children. That is the first thing we need to do. Regarding the pros and cons of the usage of social media nowadays, it is everyone is using, including the parents and the children, everyone is using. So we need to tell them about there is merits and there is demerits for the usage or in social media network. And we have the communication must be proper from the parents towards the child. That is the first and foremost thing we need to do. Second one is we need to educate ourselves. Being a parent, we must know how to use all these gadgets, all these laptops, all these computer, mobile phones, everything. Because if we are not aware about any of the thing, any of using all these things, the students or the children, they won't approach us. They won't ask. They won't come to us for the clarification of any doubts and all. So it we have to educate ourselves while dealing with these children, and we have to be very what cautious about there is a need for us to educate ourselves regarding the usage of all these things, and we have to frame a timetable for doing or how long we have to provide the time for our child to engage in all these social media activities, because nowadays due to this pandemic situation and all, everyone is using this digital media or social media, because the online classes are going on. We are not supposed to go in person with no, we are not supposed to be in school, and to we have to depend this virtual learning. So there are lot of things we have to do as a parent. That means we have to control. We have to control our children. If you are using what all sites you are visiting for taking the notes and all, how long you have to be in social network, we must monitor them, and we have to give them proper guidance. Otherwise, our children will be the sufferers. And there are a lot of things we can explore, we can share, and we can celebrate with the uh, children. That means if we are in need of something, we will find some solution for that. And you can consider your children as a friend, but you can follow what all things they are doing in network, in social medias. You can follow them, and but do not stalk. So, what is meant by I use the word stalk. What is meant by the stalking? So, when we are moving on to this cyber stalking, it is actually a cyber crime. I will go into detail. So, we can go, or we can be a friend, or we can follow our child, but we are not supposed to stalk. We are not supposed uh, to what harass them. So, if we are facing too much issues, we need to educate ourselves and educate ourselves how to use all these things. And if a parent who is using too much time in social media, it will be a adverse effect. It will create an adverse effect for the children, because there is lack of control. Addiction, if there is addiction, there is lack of control. So addiction is sometimes for the children and sometimes for the parents as well. So we need to say uh, what all things which we are doing in our day-to-day life. All these things we must frame a rules and regulations. If we are using mobile phones, or it must be according to our wish, but don't use in a excessive manner. That means if you are using too much time on that, it will create an adverse effect on you, your mental condition, your mental health, everything you have to take into account. And you have to be a very good digital role model, or for your child. First thing and the foremost thing, as I told you earlier, like the communication. There shall not be any communication gap between yourself and your children. And next, we will move on to how this social medias affect parenting. So those parents who are using too much or excessive time in social media will definitely lacks a kind of control towards the children. And if we are using, why can't they use? If we are using, or we are investing too much time, that is our valuable time, there doesn't have any uh, what any relation. It will affect badly with the relationship between the parent and the child. So we must keep it in our mind. It will affect very badly. And there are so many issues which is faced by our parents during this uh, usage of this social media. So many issues there. Every parents are facing, and first and foremost thing is the addiction. It is it is a big issue if we are using the mobile phones, or tab, or this laptop, and we get into invest our valuable time, and we are showing it. Our children are also doing it. So it is the addiction. If there is addiction, there is lack of control. We can say it in that way. And next, most important thing is what all we are dealing with the issues which we are following in this 1 minute. uh, in the digital environment, if we doesn't know about how to use this technology, or how to use all this um, the like mobile phones, this laptop and all, if we are ignorant in using all these things, it will affect us badly. It is a very important issue. We don't know how, being a parent, we don't know how to use this. If we are unaware to use all these things, the children won't come to us. They will go somewhere or they will do whatever they like. That is the thing. And next is being a children. Children, if they are in need of something, obviously they will come to us. If we doesn't know how to solve the problem, they won't come to us. They will search something, or they will go or ask or seek help from someone else. That is the thing. That is a big issue. And when we think too much regarding the issue of social media, actually, in nowadays we are creating a what academic environment in home. So it will, if there is no academic environment, obviously the students won't listen. Students in the sense the children, they will do whatever they like. They are not giving any proper what proper usage of this, and they will do the thing which is creating a lot of evil towards the towards themselves, in the sense, because when the parents, they are asking any regarding the doubt, they are asking the parent, and if the parent is not at all in a position to give the reply back to them, what will they do? So it is a big issue. It is a big issue that the parent is facing nowadays. And when we have to create, as a parent, we have to create a homely environment. Homely environment in the sense, we must be having a very cordial relationship between the children. And we are creating an academic environment. We need to invest for the technology. And if there exists any malfunction in the technology, and we need to monitor them, what all things they are doing. And if there is a proper monitor from or on the behalf of parent, the students in the sense, I'll be using the students because not always I'm using the word students for the children. So kindly consider that. So the students in the sense the children, and if the children, if we are giving too much motivation, it must need a monitoring as well. So it's so many issues which we are facing nowadays. And while coming to the youngsters, they are very much addicted to the social media, and this will harm their mental health. Mental health in the sense, if sometimes these youngsters, they realize that like they are using their valuable time to the social medias, and if they are realizing it, it will degrade, or there comes their moods negatively. Sometimes after investing too much time on this social media, sometimes the children, that for example the youngsters, they are saying like, oh, I lost too much hours on social media, what can I do? I am not supposed to be like this. So there is a kind of mood swings which they are having. And psychologists is having the opinion like those who are using this social media regularly, continuously, excessive usage. Those who are in excessive usage, their mental health will be, it will affect their mental health. And there is one finding like those who are using in social media more than 3 hours continuously, they will get a chance their for suffering mentally. So it is a finding. And nowadays we can say like it is a it is if we are using too much too much time on social media, what happens if we are saying something about this youngsters, there is a kind of uh, behavioral disorders and depression. That means every time they are using the mobile phones, and every hour they are taking the selfies, and they will post all these pictures and post. it on this social media network. So if we are posting something on social media network, you will have an inclination to find out how many likes I got, how many shares it has been shared. So likewise, from frequently our mind is like that. That means we are get closed into it. So there is, if they are sending the pictures, if they are taking all the selfies, and they become, they are having a narcissist behavior. That means excessive admiration to oneself, taking like selfies. Always, not only the children, the adults or the parents, everyone is fond of taking the selfies. So they are taking the selfies, they are putting the pictures and posting it in public, and they are expecting something from the public, how many likes they got. It will create that a system like, um, if you are expecting something, expectation kills. That is the thing. If we are expecting how many likes, it will be more than 500 or 600 or 1000. We are expecting, but if it doesn't get or reach that expectation, it will affect the children badly. So this is also a big issue nowadays. All the parents or the children are facing, but they don't know how to deal or cope up with all this situation. And while if you are moving, or if you are coming like other cyber dangers, for other cyber dangers in the sense like cyber crimes, there are a lot of cyber crimes which which the children are witnessing, and they are victim of that. For example, that like cyberbullying, cyber stalking, like cyber terrorism, hacking, everything will come under that. So this is a situation which we need to tackle with, and we need to give proper guidance for them to not to use it. If you are using it also, you are not supposed to click on some pop-ups which is coming on the screen and all. And we have to say that for that we need to educate ourselves. That is it. That is a issue which we are facing nowadays. And coming to this cyber crimes, there are a lot of cyber crimes which we are having nowadays, and there for in our India doesn't have actually like a COPA Act, like children's online this activities. If there exists any kind of um, what act, like if it is against the children, or the children are witnessing all these things, or they be a victim, we need to depend upon this act, IT Act. So it was enacted in the year 2000, and it was amended as per the IPC, Indian Penal Code, Indian Evidence Act, and this RBI, and all these things. It is amended in the year, I think it is in 2008. So we have to keep our children away from all these things. We have to uh, tell them you need to be aware of all these things. And if you're going to a site, uh, you must be aware what all things you are doing. If something you are doing is wrong, better don't do that. So you need to tell, you need to communicate with the children, and you, for that you need to research what all sites are good and what all are bad, and you must communicate them about the consequences if you are doing it. And you need to ask the ask the children, like, you, why are you using always online, why are you engaging your valuable time in online activities, why can't you open a real time friendship? So there are a lot of things which we can say, we can communicate to our children, because nowadays mostly the children are having so many online friends. So what is the need of this online friends? Because right now we are living in this digital environment. We can't say there is no need of online friends. We can't say like that. But we can ask them. We can ask them to engage in a real-time friendship and go time so spend or communicate with someone else, not regarding this virtual friendship you are in need. So we can say like that. If we are educating them, if we are educating, or if you are giving, if you are constantly lecturing the children, like you are not supposed to do this, you are not supposed to do this, they won't listen. And what we have to say to them, like, you need to find some other extracurricular activities. We need to go for the hobbies and sports and other social works. You can ask your child to engage, and you have to monitor what all things they are doing. So these are some kinds of uh, you know advices. How can we protect our children from this online frauds or online dangers? So if we are continuously saying them, they won't listen. They will be saying like, why or why you are always saying like that. Yeah, I'm not supposed to use all these things. Why you are accusing me if I'm using this? And what they are saying is, we are also online, using in this using our valuable time to in the social media network. So obviously they will business if it is a teenager. If a children, we can have some kind of control. But for that also we need to study about all these ill effects or all the demerits or merits in this social media. And what we have to say is, if continuous lecturing does not give a proper result for you people, because if you're saying a thing continuously, they will get a kind of frustration. Why they are doing like this? We don't have any kind of freedom and all. We are saying like that. So you better educate them about the merits and the demerits and the pros and the cons. If you are using the social media network, there will be so many evils which you have to face. So communicate with them, and you have to provide them the facility for communicating with the real-time friends. So sometimes it is not possible for us to go with this, because everywhere there is nuclear family and all. We can't trust the persons in, so everyone is engaging in online activities and all. So if we are saying something related with the suggestion of the social media platform, you have to say, like, you have to do it constructively in order to enhance their learning. Otherwise no need, why? Because they are spending too much time in the social medias, and they, if they are spending too much time, you have to collaborate with the people who are having the same interest on it. Otherwise it will be a negative impact. It will have a negative impact on our children. And we must ask them to differentiate what all things you got from using this social medias and how long or how many uh, time you are spending on it. Sorry. And these were some of the ideas which a parent can give to his or her children. And we, as a parent, we need to supervise them, what all things they are doing in the online, or what all things they are posting in public. We need to monitor it, and at that time they will realize, like, if I am doing something wrong, my parents will get notice of that, and I will get the punishment like that. So we have to be a constant follower for them in the social media network, because every time they are there is what there is dangers. We can't say there is no danger if we are not using it. We can't say like that. So the thing which we need to do is join with them in social network, and you need to uh, check what all things they are doing. Join with them in the social media groups and all. And sometimes if your children is often upset after using this social media network, so you better tell them like you are not supposed to take all these things into heart, into deep into your heart, because this is only social media. This doesn't have anything to act with you in your real life. So you better communicate in that form, because every time when the children is using all these things, that means if they are posting something in online, and they will be after posting they will get upset and all, so we can notice from their behavior and all. And we have to ensure that they are spending the time which is valuable for them, and how long they are spending their valuable time on these sites and all. So these are all the things which you need to do for a better result of your child. You have to be a role model for your child, and you have to uh, tell them like there are a lot of differences in the real life and when we compared with the online life or online social networking, whatever things. And there is, if there is too much intelligence, the excessive use will uh, give rise to too much indulgence. Indulgence in the sense excessive. If we are using too much time, it will waste our time. So you have to tell them like you are using it, it will harm you. Sometimes it will harm you. So better communicate in that form. And there are so many internet safety tips for the kids. You have to kids for that means for children. First and foremost thing is don't give them time to browse alone. That is the thing. You must monitor, and don't ask them to shop without your permission or without your supervision. That is second one. There are some kinds of things, and you have to use a strong password, and you have to ask them to maintain a privacy for your child. You are not supposed to say each and everything on social media, so you must convey it to your child. And you have to set a time rule for that. And the one foremost thing is never allow the children to meet any online friends. They will be saying like, I wish to meet them, I wish to meet my online friends. So don't allow them, never allow them to meet their online friends. And if there comes in, if they are using or browsing, there comes some pop-up images or something like, don't ask them to give strict instruction for them to not to click on those kind of pop-ups and news that e-newsletters. So you must be very careful. You must give instruction to your children about that. And if they are using the social media platform or if they are using the mobile phones, you have to monitor it. It's proper guidance must be given, and do not. You have to deal with the privacy settings and use a very reliable security software. So these are some safety tips for the parents to use while if your children are using this digital platform, if they are using the internet or something like that. And dealing with this parenting, there are a lot of crimes nowadays. So that's why we had enacted an act. So we, for the parents, for your knowledge, I'll be discussing some of the crimes and the punishments for that, and what are the cyber crimes which we need to understand about. First, cybercrime is like the identity theft. What is meant by this identity theft? You need to understand. Being a parent, you need to understand. So, identity theft is for one person, they will steal all our personal details and they will use it for some monetary benefit. For example, they are taking some kinds of loans and for the credit cards and all, they will be using your details. So, there is the application of there is the application of what uh, this identity theft. Identity theft means they are using your personal details and they are taking the monetary benefit. And next we will deal with a kind of crime like cyber terrorism. So what is meant by cyber terrorism? If cyber terrorism means if any harm it must be caused to an individual or a group of person or a organization or state, it must be punished. And if it is with the use of internet or with the use of this computer, they are using in order to they are defaming, they are acting against an individual or a group of person or an organization or against a state, we can call it as a cyber terrorism. And coming to the cyber bullying, what is meant by cyber bullying? If a teenager or an adolescent person and who defames or who harasses or intimidates someone with the use of this internet, this phone, and instant messaging or any social media network, we can call that person as committing a cyberbullying. With the use of internet, with the use of instant messaging, chat rooms, social media networks, everything they are using. And if the user is an adolescent person or a teenager, and that those person they are committing the crime of cyberbullying. And if that cyberbullying is done by an adult, we can call it as cyber stalking. So that's why previously, when I how to be a good digital parent, I told you like you are not supposed to stalk with your children. That means you are not supposed to go behind. You can act as a friend, but you are not supposed to stalk. So it is actually a crime. And the next is defamation. So what is meant by defamation? You all know what is meant. We are intentionally we are defaming a person. We all are having the right to speech, to speak in social media. But in order to defame a person, if you are intentionally doing it, it is punishable under the defamatory rules and laws. And next is hacking. What is meant by hacking? Hacking is a kind of getting the control of someone else computer and net everything. They are using it for their own wrongful gain. We can call it as a hacking. So these are some kinds of cyber crimes which we are witnessing nowadays. And there is one thing like harassing, harassing through this platform, like through the social medias, harassment. If one person is continuously and there is an intention for them to harass so and so persons, so it will also come under this cyber crimes. Next, while dealing with the cybercrimes. Sometimes it may be dealing with the contract and intellectual property, sometimes data protection, and sometimes this the, all these things. So if we are dealing with the copyright violation, it will also come under with the cybercrime. That means so in copyright, it is our work, it is our intellectual property. So no one is supposed to use it without our permission. So if someone is using it without the permission of the real owner, that person has committed a cybercrime under the copyright violation. So these are all the things which need to understand while dealing with the cybercrimes. We need to know. If you are not knowing about all these crimes, how can we know? You can't know anything. And if there is a trade secrets, like say, if so many internet organizations has invested their time and invested money for developing new softwares and for tools and applications in order to protect or to gain their trade secrets. But if someone is uh, taking it, the trade secrets and the data uh, by doing the theft, we can call it as the trade secrets. It is also a what? It is also a crime. And, and while dealing with the freedom of speech, as we all know that we are having a right to say our views, we need to sometimes we need to be a cyber offender as well. So the freedom of speech enables the individuals to say all these things, what all things it is in their mind, and the cyber law refrains of saying it. And uh, these are some kinds of crimes which nowadays we are uh, facing or in our environment, in our digital environment. So, as this ID Act has been given more importance for these things, it is amended by the under our Indian Penal Code, by the Indian Evidence Act, the Bankers Book Evidence Act, and the RBI. So we need to uh, get information regarding this, and there are a lot of punishment for this. Is it time over? Okay. Being no, so we need to tell about this punishment for the legal issues or legal framework. We need to go is if we are doing any defamation through the use of computer, we must be punished according to Section 499 of the Indian Penal Code, and by virtue of Section 354 of IPC, that um, uh, there is if you are doing any act of stalking, so it will all come under. If you are doing any sexual harassment, if you are doing voyeurism. So what is meant by voyeurism actually, it is a capturing of image of a woman. If they are doing a private act, it is a capturing of their image and they are sending or circulating it through this media. So we need to be aware about what all punishments we are having, and otherwise we are not getting the knowledge regarding the punishment. How can we file a suit for getting the remedies? So you need to being a if you people are lawyers, you will get notice about all these things. Otherwise the common people, they are not knowing about all these things, and there are a lot of dangers and what dangers and online frauds which we are witnessing in the digital environment. And in Section 354, it criminalizes the voyeurism, and 503 punishes with the criminal intimidations. That means, and the punishment is sometimes 2 years or more, and the punishment for the voyeurism, it's maybe I think 3 years punishment, and it can be uh, what is meant by this punishment given to the criminal intimidation, and it is I think it is 2 years or more for if we are criminally intimidating a person to do something and all. And um, we need to we need to be very cautious. We need to be very we have to take so many preventions for our children to get to aware about all these online things and all. And one thing I need to ask. So how can we prevent this cyber crimes? that that thing I will wind up. And the first one is unsolicited text message. That means if you are getting any text message from any non-reliable source, or you are not knowing about where it comes, you kindly don't reply to it. So that is the one thing you need to do. If you don't know where that messages came, and sometimes it may be automated voice messages and all. So at that time, you need don't do it or don't reply to all this if you are getting a message from that. And next is downloading in phone. If you are doing downloading in a phone, you have to do it from a reliable source, otherwise don't do that. And next is personal information package. If you are getting any message for through emails, you are getting any personal information requests, you need not reply to those kinds of mails. They will be asking your bank details, they will be asking your name, age, everything will be asking personal information. At that time also, don't reply to those kinds of emails. Previously, before few weeks, I got one email from, personally I got an email from Canada. That means I got some lottery, and how many dollars I don't know, remember. I got some mail like that. And what all they need is, you better write all this personal details with you, your name, age, your bank account details, with including the IFSC code they will be asking. So so these type of things we need to, we are not supposed to give reply for those kinds of activities, which is common. And we are preventing these things, and by not giving replies. So these were some of the prevention methods for the parents to communicate with their children and to ensure the safety in the digital environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful session. It was really an eye-opening session for all. I see many questions have come, but I feel all of them were beautifully answered by you during the session. So I would like to also mention one point here, ma'am. So the whole
Yes.
session which we are doing in the Cyber Yuva campaign, we are actually documenting each and every points of that. So and the validatory session, we want to release this in the form of a book. So either Arya or someone from our team may disturb you also, interrupt you also, trouble you also little
No, no, no,
more
no
information
donation.
in order to
Yeah,
explain us.
it's
So
my pleasure
please
to
bear
have.
with us
Yeah,
for
okay.
this month. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time from your busy schedule and enlightening us with your thoughts. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.